I opened the text at my birthday dinner. You have 30 days, leave. My sister, my apartment. Then I remembered what our grandmother's lawyer had told me 3 days earlier. The building was mine, everything was mine, and her wedding was in 2 weeks. The phone screen blurred. My best friend Rachel reached across the table. She read it. Her face went white. Emma, this can't be legal. I set the phone down. The restaurant felt too bright, too loud. I was 32 years old, and my younger sister had just tried to evict me on my birthday. Let me go back. I'm Emma Hayes, 32. I live in Portland. I lived in a small apartment in a building our grandmother owned. Owned, past tense matters here. Our grandmother, Dorothy Hayes, died 6 months before this story. She was 87, sharp until the end. She raised us after our parents died in a car accident when I was 9 and my sister Lauren was 6. Dorothy owned 3 properties in Portland: a small apartment building with 8 units, a commercial space downtown, and the house where she lived, where Lauren moved in 4 years ago to take care of her. I visited every week. Dorothy and I had coffee. We talked about books, about her late husband, about the neighborhood changing. Lauren was always busy when I visited, always on her phone, always somewhere else in the house. I worked as a financial analyst. 60-hour weeks. I loved my job. I was good at it. I had been saving for a house. Slowly, Portland isn't cheap. The apartment I rented was in Dorothy's building. She charged me $800 a month, below market. She said family helps family. When Dorothy died, I cried for 3 days. I took a week off work. I spoke at her funeral. Lauren organized everything, the service, the reception. She was efficient, cold but efficient. The will reading was scheduled for 2 weeks later. I assumed we'd split everything evenly. Dorothy loved us both, that's what I thought. I showed up to the lawyer's office. Lauren was already there. She wore black, designer. Her fiancé sat next to her. Brad, investment banker, polished. The lawyer, Martin Cross, was elderly. He had been Dorothy's attorney for 30 years. He looked tired. He read the will, standard language, legal terms, then the distributions. To Lauren, the house, the commercial property downtown, and a cash bequest of $50,000. I waited for my name. Martin looked at me. He paused. He cleared his throat. To my granddaughter Emma Hayes, I leave my entire residual estate, including all financial accounts, investment portfolios, and the property located at 4782 Morrison Street, Portland, Oregon. This property is currently operated as a residential building with 8 rental units. I also established the Hayes Family Trust, with Emma Hayes as sole trustee and beneficiary, to be funded with all remaining liquid assets, totaling approximately $2.3 million, with immediate access for living expenses, education, and charitable purposes as she sees fit. The room went silent. Lauren's face turned red. Brad shifted in his seat. What? Lauren said. Her voice was sharp. Martin continued. Dorothy Hayes executed this will on March 15th, 3 months before her death. It was witnessed by 2 independent parties and notarized. She was assessed by Dr. Richard Chen on March 14th, who certified in writing, Mrs. Hayes demonstrates sound mind, clear decision-making capacity, and understanding of her estate and beneficiaries as of this date. I couldn't process it. The building I lived in, the trust, $2 million. Lauren stood up. This is insane. She wasn't in her right mind, Martin held up a hand. Ms. Hayes, your grandmother anticipated concerns. She had a full cognitive evaluation. She discussed this will with me extensively. Her instructions were clear. Lauren grabbed her purse. She looked at me. Her eyes were cold. You manipulated her. She left. Brad followed. I sat there. Martin handed me a folder. Documents, account numbers, property deeds. Emma, he said quietly, Dorothy wanted you to have this. She told me you were the only one who visited her for her, not for anything else. I drove home in a daze. I parked outside the building. My building, I couldn't feel it yet. For 3 days, I didn't tell anyone except Rachel. I needed to understand what I had. Martin scheduled a follow-up meeting. We'd go through everything. The trust, the accounts, the tenants. Lauren didn't call, didn't text. I thought maybe she needed time, maybe we'd talk eventually. We weren't close, but we were family. Then came my birthday, October 12th. Rachel took me to dinner, a nice Italian place, candles, wine. My phone buzzed at 7:43 p.m., a text from Lauren. You have 30 days to vacate 4782 Morrison Street, Unit 3. Rent is past due. You are in violation of your lease. Legal eviction proceedings will begin if you do not comply. Do not contact me. Lauren Hayes, property manager. I read it twice. Rachel leaned over, she gasped. She thinks she owns the building, I said. Rachel stared at me. What? She doesn't know. She thinks Dorothy gave her everything. She thinks I got nothing. You need to call Martin, now. I called. He picked up on the second ring. Is Emma? Lauren just tried to evict me from my own building. A long pause. She doesn't know about the trust. Apparently not. She thinks she inherited the building. Martin exhaled. The will was clear. The building is yours. She has no legal standing. But if she's acting as if she has authority, we need to address this immediately. Don't respond to her text. I'll send her a cease and desist letter tomorrow. And Emma, document everything, every text, every interaction. I thanked him. I hung up. I looked at Rachel. This is going to get worse, I said. It got worse. The next morning, I woke up to 3 emails from tenants in the building, forwarded notices. Lauren had sent eviction warnings to everyone, all 8 units, 30 days, rent increases, new management policies. She was pretending to own my building. I called Martin. He was already drafting letters. He'd handle it, but I felt sick. My sister was lying to people, using Dorothy's death, using confusion. I went to work. I couldn't focus. My boss, Catherine, noticed. She pulled me into her office. Emma, what's going on? I told her the inheritance, the eviction text. Catherine listened. She was 50, sharp. She'd been a mentor to me for 5 years. Emma, your sister is committing fraud. She's representing herself as the owner of property she doesn't own. You need to protect yourself legally and financially. And you need to do it now. I nodded. I knew she was right. That afternoon, Martin sent a formal cease and desist letter to Lauren, by courier, with a copy of the will, a copy of the property deed in my name, and a clear statement: Emma Hayes is the sole owner of 4782 Morrison Street. Any further claims of ownership or attempts to collect rent or issue evictions will be considered fraud. I thought that would end it. It didn't. 2 days later, Lauren sent a mass email to all the tenants. Subject line: clarification on building ownership. She claimed there was a dispute, that the will was being contested, that she was Dorothy's primary caregiver and the rightful heir. She said I had manipulated Dorothy. She asked tenants to continue paying rent to her. Rachel found the email online. Lauren had posted it on a neighborhood forum, public. My name was there, my address, accusations of elder abuse, of manipulation. I felt my stomach drop. This wasn't just family drama, this was public humiliation. Comments piled up, people I didn't know weighing in. Some believed her. Some said it sounded like a scam. My phone buzzed with messages from neighbors, from acquaintances. I called Martin. He was furious. This is defamation. She's making false statements publicly. We can add this to the case. What case? I asked. The one we're going to file. Emma, she's not going to stop. We need to go to court. We need an injunction. And we need to shut this down. I agreed, but I felt exhausted. I was supposed to be grieving my grandmother. Instead, I was fighting my sister. That week was a blur. Martin filed an emergency motion for a restraining order and an injunction. The hearing was set for 3 weeks out. Meanwhile, Lauren kept posting, kept messaging tenants, kept pretending. And then I found out about the wedding. Lauren was getting married in 2 weeks, October 28th, a venue on the river, 200 guests. She'd been planning it for a year. I wasn't invited, obviously. But Rachel was. She'd received an invitation months ago, before Dorothy died, before everything. Are you still going? I asked her. Rachel shook her head. Of course not, I'm not supporting this. I thought about it, the wedding, the guests, family, friends, business contacts. people who had seen Lauren's posts, people who thought I was a manipulative elder abuser. An idea started forming. Martin had scheduled a meeting to review evidence. I went to his office. He laid out everything: bank statements showing the trust accounts in my name, the notarized will, Dr. Chen's cognitive evaluation, deed records, property tax payments I'd now made. "This is airtight," Martin said. "Lauren has no case, but she's acting irrationally. She genuinely seems to believe she's entitled to this." "Or she's lying," I said. Martin nodded. "Possibly. Either way, the law is clear." I looked at the documents. An idea solidified. "Martin," I said, "can I have copies of everything, full documentation?" "Of course, why?" "Her wedding is in 10 days. Martin raised an eyebrow. "Emma, I don't recommend confrontation in a public setting." "I'm not confronting anyone. I'm just going to attend. And if anyone asks me about the dispute, I'll have proof." Martin studied me. Then he nodded slowly. "Document everything. If she makes any admissions or threats, record them if Oregon law allows. It's a one-party consent state. You can record conversations you're part of." He made copies. I walked out with a folder. Every piece of evidence, every document. The week before the wedding, I barely slept. Lauren's posts continued. She started a GoFundMe. "Help me fight for my grandmother's legacy." She claimed I had stolen her inheritance. She claimed she needed money for legal fees. It raised $4,000 in 3 days. I felt sick. People believed her. People I knew, people from our church, from the neighborhood. I couldn't defend myself publicly. Martin advised against it. "Let the court handle it," he said. "Don't engage." But it hurt. Every comment, every donation, every share. I stopped going to my favorite coffee shop. Someone recognized me. They whispered. I left. Work became my refuge. Catherine checked in daily. "You're doing the right thing," she said. "Truth takes time, but it wins." I wanted to believe her. 3 days before the wedding, I received a message on social media. From Brad's sister, Jessica. I'd met her once. She was kind. "Emma, I don't know what's true, but I know Lauren's version doesn't add up. If you need someone to listen, I'm here." I didn't respond. I didn't trust anyone. The night before the wedding, Rachel came over. She brought wine. We sat on my couch. "You don't have to do this," she said. "You don't owe anyone an explanation." "I know," I said, "but I can't let her keep lying, not publicly, not when everyone we know will be there." Rachel hugged me. "Then I'm coming with you." The wedding was at 4 p.m. venue on the Willamette River. White tent, string lights, perfect October weather. Rachel and I arrived at 3:45 p.m. We parked. I wore a simple navy dress. I carried a small clutch. Inside, my phone, a flash drive with all the documents, and a printed summary Martin had prepared. We walked to the entrance, a guest list, a coordinator with a clipboard. And names: Rachel Monroe and Emma Hayes. The coordinator's face changed. She looked at a tablet. "I'm sorry, Emma Hayes is not on the guest list." "I'm family," I said calmly. "I'm the bride's sister." She hesitated. She called someone on a radio. A minute later, Lauren's wedding planner appeared, a woman in her 50s, stressed. "Miss Hayes, I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding. You're not." "I'm her sister," I said. "I'm here to celebrate her wedding." The planner looked uncomfortable. She glanced back at the tent. "Please wait here." Rachel squeezed my hand. "This is insane." A moment later, Brad appeared. He wore a tuxedo. He looked panicked. "Emma, you can't be here." "Why not?" "Lauren doesn't want you here. You know why." "I'm her sister. I have every right to attend." Brad lowered his voice. "Please, don't make a scene. It's her wedding day." "I'm not making a scene. I'm attending a wedding." He stared at me. Then he pulled out his phone. He stepped away. He called someone. Rachel whispered, "Do you think she'll call security?" "Probably." A minute later, Lauren appeared. She wore her wedding dress, ivory lace. Beautiful, her face was red. She walked straight to me. "What the hell are you doing here?" "I'm your sister. I'm here for your wedding." "You're not welcome. Leave." People were starting to notice. Guests near the entrance. bridesmaids peeking out from the tent. I kept my voice calm. Lauren, I'm not leaving, I'm family, I'm here to support you. Support me? You stole my inheritance. You manipulated Grandma, you. I didn't steal anything, the will was clear, you know this. She stepped closer, her voice was shaking. You poisoned her against me, you made her think I didn't care. I took care of her for 4 years, and she gave you everything. Her voice rose, a crowd was gathering now, guests, bridesmaids, groomsmen, someone was filming on their phone. Lauren, I said quietly, Grandma left you the house, the commercial property, $50,000, that's not nothing. It's nothing compared to what you got. $2 million, the building? How did you do it? What did you say to her? I felt the anger rising, but I kept my voice steady. I visited her every week, I had coffee with her, I talked to her, I loved her, that's all. Lauren's face twisted. You liar, you manipulative. She lunged at me, Brad grabbed her, Rachel stepped between us. The crowd gasped, phones were out, everyone was filming. Lauren was screaming now. You don't belong here, you stole from me, you're a thief, a liar. I reached into my clutch, I pulled out the summary Martin had prepared. 1 page, bullet points, the will, the trust, the cognitive evaluation, the property deed. I held it up. Lauren, this is the truth. This is what Grandma wanted. It's all legal, it's all documented. I don't care about your fake documents. They're not fake, they're notarized, they're filed with the county, you can look them up. A guest stepped forward, an older man, I recognized him. Thomas Warren, a friend of Dorothy's, a retired judge. May I see that? He asked. I handed it to him, he read it, his face was serious, he looked at Lauren. Lauren, this appears to be legitimate. If Dorothy executed this will with proper witnesses and a cognitive evaluation, it's valid. Lauren turned on him, she wasn't in her right mind. The evaluation says otherwise. She was manipulated. Thomas shook his head. I knew Dorothy for 40 years, she was sharp. If she made this decision, she had reasons. Lauren's face crumpled, she was crying now, mascara running. Brad tried to hold her, she pushed him away. This is my wedding day, she sobbed. You ruined my wedding day. I felt a pang of guilt, but I pushed it down. I didn't ruin anything, you attacked me. You've been lying about me for weeks. I came here to set the record straight. A bridesmaid stepped forward. Maybe we should all take a breath, it's Lauren's wedding, can we just… No, I said. I'm tired of being silent. Lauren has been telling everyone I'm a thief, that I manipulated our grandmother. She tried to evict me from my own building. She posted my address online. She accused me of elder abuse. I'm done being quiet. The crowd was silent, phones still recording. I could see the shock on people's faces. Lauren looked at me, her voice was venomous. I will never forgive you. I can live with that. She turned and walked away. Brad followed. The wedding planner looked panicked. The crowd started whispering. Rachel took my arm, let's go. We walked back to the car. My hands were shaking. I felt adrenaline crashing, but I also felt something else, relief. We drove to a coffee shop. We sat outside. My phone started buzzing, messages, notifications. Rachel checked her phone, her eyes widened. Emma, you need to see this. She showed me the video, someone had posted it. Lauren screaming, me holding up the document. Thomas Warren confirming it was legitimate. It was on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. The caption, bride accuses sister of stealing inheritance at her own wedding, but sister has receipts. Views were climbing, thousands, tens of thousands. Comments, the sister stayed so calm. Lauren seems unhinged. If there's a cognitive evaluation and a notarized will, it's legit. This is wild. Rachel looked at me, this is going viral. I felt numb, I hadn't wanted this, but I also hadn't expected Lauren to attack me, to scream at me in front of 200 people. My phone rang, Martin. Emma, I just saw the video, are you okay? I'm fine. Good, because this changes things. Lauren made public accusations. She admitted she believes she's entitled to property she doesn't own, and she did it on camera. This is evidence. I hadn't thought of that. Emma, Martin continued, I'm going to file an emergency motion tomorrow. We're going to move up the hearing. With this video, I think we can get an immediate injunction. Okay. And Emma, you did the right thing. You defended yourself. You didn't attack. You stated facts. That's going to matter. The video hit 1 million views in 24 hours. News outlets picked it up. Local Portland stations, then national. Wedding inheritance drama goes viral. My phone wouldn't stop. Reporters requesting interviews, comments from strangers, support, criticism, everything. Martin's emergency motion was filed Monday morning. The hearing was scheduled for Wednesday, 2 days. Lauren's attorney called Martin. They wanted to settle, drop everything. Lauren would acknowledge my ownership. No court, no publicity. Martin asked me, what do you want? I thought about it, the lies, the eviction text, the public accusations, the GoFundMe. No, I said, I want the hearing, I want it on the record. Understood. Wednesday morning, courtroom, Multnomah County Circuit Court, Judge Patricia Holloway presiding. I sat with Martin. Lauren sat with her attorney, a man named David Park. Brad sat behind her. She didn't look at me. Judge Holloway reviewed the motions. The will, the trust documents, the property deed, Dr. Chen's cognitive evaluation, the video from the wedding. She looked at Lauren. Ms. Hayes, do you contest the validity of your grandmother's will? Lauren's attorney stood. Your Honor, we believe Mrs. Dorothy Hayes was unduly influenced by her granddaughter Emma Hayes in the months before her death. Do you have evidence of undue influence? We believe the will disproportionately favors Emma Hayes, and that's not evidence, that's an opinion. Do you have any documentation, witnesses, medical records suggesting cognitive impairment? No, Your Honor, but then you have no case. The will was properly executed, it was witnessed. Mrs. Hayes had a cognitive evaluation confirming her capacity. The evaluation was conducted by Dr. Richard Chen, a board-certified neurologist, who stated, and I quote, Mrs. Hayes demonstrates sound mind, clear decision-making capacity, and understanding of her estate and beneficiaries as of this date. This will is valid. Lauren's attorney sat down. Judge Holloway turned to Martin. Mr. Cross, you're requesting an injunction prohibiting Ms. Lauren Hayes from representing herself as the owner of property located at 4782 Morrison Street. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. My client, Emma Hayes, is the legal owner. Ms. Lauren Hayes has been issuing eviction notices, collecting rent, and making public statements claiming ownership. This constitutes fraud and defamation. Judge Holloway nodded. She looked at Lauren. Ms. Hayes, did you send eviction notices to tenants at 4782 Morrison Street? Lauren's attorney whispered to her. She nodded. Yes, she said quietly. Did you believe you had legal authority to do so? I thought the will was wrong. I thought I should have inherited it. But you were informed by Mr. Cross that your sister is the legal owner, correct? And yes. And you continued to represent yourself as the owner. A silence. Ms. Hayes, I asked you a question. Yes, Lauren whispered. Judge Holloway leaned back. Ms. Hayes, what you did is fraud. You represented yourself as the owner of property you do not own. You collected money under false pretenses. You issued legal notices you had no authority to issue. This is serious. Lauren started crying. Brad reached for her hand. Judge Holloway continued. I'm granting the injunction. Ms. Lauren Hayes is prohibited from making any claims of ownership regarding 4782 Morrison Street. She is prohibited from contacting tenants of that property. She is prohibited from making any public statements claiming she is the rightful heir to Dorothy Hayes' estate. Violation of this order will result in contempt charges. Martin stood. Your Honor, we're also requesting restitution for rent collected by Ms. Lauren Hayes from tenants of the building. Judge Holloway looked at Lauren. How much rent did you collect? Lauren's attorney checked his notes. Approximately $6,000, Your Honor. You will return that money to the tenants or to Ms. Emma Hayes within 30 days. Additionally, I'm referring this matter to the district attorney's office for potential criminal charges related to fraud. Lauren gasped. Brad put his arm around her. Finally, Judge Holloway said, regarding the defamatory statements made by Ms. Lauren Hayes on social media and public forums. Ms. Hayes, you publicly accused your sister of elder abuse, manipulation, and theft. Do you have any evidence to support these claims? No, Lauren whispered. Then you defamed her. I'm ordering you to issue a public retraction and apology. You will post it on every platform where you made the original accusations. You have 7 days. Judge Holloway banged her gavel. This matter is concluded. The will contest is dismissed with prejudice. Case closed. We stood, Martin shook my hand. It's over. I nodded, I felt relief and exhaustion. Lauren walked past me, she didn't look at me. Brad glared, they left. Outside the courtroom, reporters waited. Cameras, microphones. Martin stepped forward. My client will make a brief statement. I stood in front of the cameras. I felt nervous, but I also felt ready. My name is Emma Hayes. My grandmother, Dorothy Hayes, passed away 6 months ago. She left me her trust and property. Her will was legal, properly executed, and reflected her wishes. My sister chose to contest it publicly and to accuse me of wrongdoing. Today, a judge confirmed that everything was done correctly. I hope this brings closure. I'm grateful for my grandmother's generosity, and I plan to honor her memory by using her gift to help others. Thank you. Short, calm, dignified. The video aired that night, local news, then national. The narrative shifted, comments online changed. Emma handled that with so much grace. Lauren really thought she could lie her way into an inheritance. That judge did not play around. Lauren issued the apology a week later. It was terse, minimal, but it was public. I made statements about my sister Emma Hayes that were not true. I apologize. The court has confirmed that my grandmother's will was valid. I regret my actions. The GoFundMe was shut down. Donors were refunded. Brad called off the wedding. Apparently, the viral video and the court case were too much. They separated 2 months later. Lauren moved out of Dorothy's house. I didn't ask where she went. The tenants at 4782 Morrison Street received their money back. I met with each of them. I apologized for the confusion. I lowered their rents to match what Dorothy had charged. They stayed, all 8 units. I used the trust the way Dorothy intended. I kept my job, but I also started a foundation, the Dorothy Hayes Foundation, focused on housing assistance for low-income families. We helped 500 families in the first year, rent support, security deposits, legal aid for tenants facing wrongful evictions. Catherine from work joined the board, Martin provided legal guidance, Rachel helped with operations. The commercial property downtown became a community center, free tutoring, job training, health screenings. I think Dorothy would have liked that. 6 months after the court hearing, I received a letter from Lauren, handwritten. Emma, I don't expect forgiveness. I was wrong. I was jealous. I thought Grandma loved you more. I see now that she loved us differently. She gave me stability. She gave you responsibility. I wasn't ready to see that. I'm sorry for what I did. I hope one day we can talk. Lauren. I read it 3 times. I didn't respond. Not yet, maybe someday. A year later, I stood in the community center. We were hosting a back-to-school event. Backpacks, school supplies, free haircuts. A little girl walked up to me. She had a new backpack, pink. She smiled. Thank you, she said. You're welcome. Her mother came over. You're Emma Hayes, you run this place. I help run it, yes. This place changed our lives. My daughter has tutoring here 3 times a week. She's reading at grade level now, thank you. I felt tears prick my eyes. That's what we're here for. That night I sat in my apartment, my building. I looked at a photo of Dorothy on my shelf, smiling, holding a coffee cup. I thought about everything that had happened, the eviction text, the wedding, the court hearing, the foundation. People ask me if I regret going to the wedding, if I regret making it public. I don't, because sometimes the only way to stop a lie is to stand in the light and tell the truth. Dorothy taught me that. She lived her life with integrity. She made hard choices. She didn't apologize for them. I'm trying to do the same. I opened my laptop. I checked the foundation's metrics. We just approved housing for family number 600. I thought about commenting, about asking the people watching this story a question. If someone you loved left you a gift, but it caused a rift with family, would you keep it? Or would you give it up for peace? And if someone lied about you publicly, would you stay silent or would you fight back? I don't know if there's a right answer. I only know what I chose. I chose truth. I chose Dorothy's wishes. I chose to honor her by doing good with what she gave me. And on the hard days when I miss her, when I wish Lauren and I could have stayed sisters, I remind myself, I'm doing what Dorothy asked. I'm taking care of people. I'm building something that lasts. That's enough.